when you're ready.
Okay. Good evening. Today it's 6:32 p.m. We'll start our Sustainable Taskforce meeting. Call to the order. I'm Harita Nagabandi, the chair.
Jack Albert, Vice Chair.
Geraldine Yo.
And Jason Scott, staff liaison.
I didn't hear anything on the appointments or the resignations. Did you hear any?
No, I was at the town council meeting last week,
Okay.
and there was a section where they were discussing things, and they didn't mention Sustainable. So we are still short one more member, so looking forward to getting someone on board soon. And this is my first meeting with Geraldine in presence. I know you were here the time that I wasn't, so it's nice to sit
Yeah.
next to you.
Thank you. Same
Mhm.
here.
So I didn't hear any public comments or correspondence. Did you hear any?
I've not had any, no. Yeah, it's been quiet. Actually, the last couple of months, I haven't gotten anything from requests or feedback from the residents, so it's been quiet.
Is that a good thing?
Yes and no, as long as they're paying attention to the task force and
Mhm.
hearing what we're trying to,
Accomplish.
get at, yeah, then I'm satisfied with it. And
Good.
we do have the occasional visitor that'll come in and sit with us and, ask questions or present information or give us a couple of ideas.
Yeah, like Derek came in last meeting, or the weekend.
Yeah, he's our former task force chair.
Oh,
And,
okay.
Kevin.
Yeah, that young fellow,
Yeah.
right, that it came in?
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
correct,
okay.
yeah.
And he and Haritha and a few other members, they were kind of integral into getting a lot of the information together for our first bronze certification back in 2022. And then because of their work, the mayor wanted to bring them on board and create a task force so that they could continue on and kind of offer some guidance to the council about ways that we could stay sustainable. So it's good. It's been great in a lot of areas, and then I think when you're advisory, I think it's not always as much fun as putting things together as a grassroots organizer, but I think they do get that chance to still create some things.
Yeah.
And I think the ball's going to roll on that. I think we're going to get more going. I hope, I really do. So I'd like to think that whoever serves on the task force gets to be satisfied with what we do here. So I think once we get over the certification hurdle, I think we can kind of get back to focusing on new
On
work.
new work,
Yeah.
So, so do I have an action for, so,
I'm wondering if we could take that off the agenda tonight, if possible.
Okay.
The only reason being is I didn't get a chance to upload the minutes from that meeting, which
From the 6:30?
Yeah. Robert Downs, our secretary, he prepared the information from the video that we gave him, but I know the video cut short.
yes.
And Steve Sobolak took some additional notes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that some of that information got into the minutes, and I forgot to do that. So if it's all right, I think I'd like to hold off
Sure.
on voting on it until next meeting,
Next meeting.
so I can kind of get that together and get it up online. I can do that tomorrow morning, so at least it'll be uploaded with some information, and hopefully we can vote on it for the August meeting.
So Robert did share the meeting minutes with me, so I gave some feedback on what other things needs to get included because it was cut short, right? After that we had a little bit more conversation. So maybe you can take a look at it also, Jason.
Absolutely, yeah, I'm not sure. I think the version that he had was a digital link.
Okay.
So theoretically, if he's probably already uploaded that information into it, I'll take a look.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
So the next one is the report from the task force chair. So we are excited to share that we were able to submit for silver. So Jason, thank you for the work that you put in, and of course to each and every task force members who actually put in the extra time to get that silver certification in.
It's in, but I don't think it's complete. Unfortunately, I really did try with every free minute I had available. I was balancing some other projects at the day job, and I uploaded as much as I could. I definitely hit like kind of the biggest items first. So I have a few little things that I think we're going to need in order to get that 500-point minimum.
So
So
I
yeah.
have an update. I was checking with Summer after the submission to see how many points we had. So she came back saying that we submitted 515 points.
Really? Okay.
I'm shocked myself.
That's what
Wow.
she said. Is there a way you can see the number?
I will take a look. I did not get an email from her about that, so that's
Yeah,
that's a
I
shock to
didn't
me.
either, and
So it
I've
was-
been looking through it, and I didn't see any indication of that.
Okay.
So, crossing fingers, I would want you to double check because
Yeah.
none of us have access to the information.
Well,
So-
actually,
Sure.
actually, I do know.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
able to get permission, and I
Okay.
didn't see any indication of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Um,
so I think has to be approved. I did the approved, but it's just the old stuff that was approved. None of the new stuff I
Correct.
think that you did, so.
right.
So I think that still has to all be approved before we can get
Correct.
credit for it.
That's correct.
Okay, so I might not be able to view it yet.
So-
Yeah,
Summer is our, a fellow that was hired by Sustainable CT to kind of guide the town of Rocky Hill with their application. And then there are reviewers within Sustainable CT that will look at the evidence that we provided in the write-ups, describing the things that we've done to see if it qualifies for the points.
Oh, okay.
If there's issues with it, they will sometimes come back to us and ask for more information. I know I have some information that I didn't upload yet, so I'll double check and see if there's still holes. And if so, then I want to try to prepare the data to fill those holes in, because if they come back and ask for more information
At least
and
we
they
have.
open it back up again,
Mhm.
you know, even if it's just for a few hours, I would love to get that information uploaded, so.
Did
So
Summer
even-
give you any indication
So
when
what-
we could, when
I
it's
asked
going to
her,
be?
I mean, it was just an email conversation. Right after I saw the email from Jason, I just responded to her asking like how many points we were able to get in. So she said we have 515 points, but that doesn't mean that we are, see, if there are certain things which we do not have, which they haven't approved, so
Mhm.
that is something that they will come back to us saying that whether it is approved or not, but at least we submitted. So
Okay.
it doesn't mean that we got silver certification yet. So they'll go through the review process, and maybe there are some actions where they need like follow-up supporting documentation and
Mhm.
other
So did you give any indication when we know? Or is, any?
No.
No, okay,
I
so
was
it could be,
hoping, yeah.
it could be in the future or a few weeks?
I think the last time we submitted back in April, we did a partial submission. We knew we didn't have everything put together, but they were willing to take on what we had so that they could review it and give us some
Mhm.
feedback. And I think that came in with like 2 or 3 weeks maybe of
Okay,
submission.
so we're in
So
that
we're already a
timeframe.
week in basically, because I
Yeah.
submitted on Tuesday last week. So we may see something in the
And we're
middle
talking
of the
about
month.
approved too, right?
Potentially.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't think we're
As
gonna get
opposed
approved,
to
but maybe if we
completed.
have that many
I
points.
think we're in the completed stage, but we need the approved stage.
Yeah, they're gonna
Correct.
review
And that's
each
the
of the
only way to get
submissions.
points.
Correct. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
At least we were able to get in the points
Yeah.
that are needed. So the next step is the review process, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we will, maybe we're not crossing the fingers. If they need supporting documentation, they open it up again for us
Yeah.
to submit that supporting documentation.
So I kind of dug around through town sources, pieced together supporting documentation, and I have them all in like, you know, separate subdirectories, and then, you know, write-ups to go with them
Yep.
where necessary, but I don't have all the write-ups done. So I can still work on that, you know, if I need to. But at least I think there's supporting data to, you know, for the submissions, so. Yeah, so I think we'll probably be in good shape even if they come back with questions.
Hopefully, crossing fingers.
Yeah, thank you.
Well.
You just made my week. Yeah, it was-
I'm sorry, I'll believe it when I see it.
Of course. But that number then, when she shared, because I don't think it's a typo.
No.
And I was trying to follow
Were we
after
on
that.
access to that email, or is just you and Summer?
I can forward it to you.
Okay.
And to
Well, no,
Jason.
it's okay, you don't
Yeah,
have
I'll
to,
forward
but
it.
just,
Yeah.
I just didn't see anything like that.
And after that, I tried following up with her, but I didn't get any response back.
I'm
so-
sure they're super busy. You know, we're not the only town submitting information.
Correct. And she was very, very supportive.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
been-
she always was great.
Yeah, she'd come in and met with a couple of us to try to keep the information moving, and you know, it was uploading things for us so we could keep moving. She's like, oh, just, email over what you have and, trying to maintain information. Yeah, she was extremely helpful, so.
I think she was correct too, saying, let's not meet that last week, because then we were just trying to get stuff in, so that was smart on her part.
Right.
Correct.
When we get to the new business, I want to just kind of come back to talk about
Sure. Other opportunities.
yeah, if you don't mind.
Sure.
But yeah, I guess
Cheers.
that's it for the moment, unless you have anything else.
No.
Okay.
Nothing, we can,
Okay.
there is.
Great report.
Surprise!
Yeah, surprise. Surprise,
But I would,
surprise.
if you have access, Jason, I would want you to check
Yeah,
the
well,
points.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm gonna check before I
I'm
go home.
really hoping it's not a
checked
typo.
today.
Okay.
I'm gonna check when I
And
get
there
back
is,
up.
did they give any
Nothing was
points?
approved. Nothing
Okay.
was approved
But will
yet.
you be able to see the
I
points?
should be able to. I mean,
I seem to remember that when we make a submission,
Yeah,
the new points that are submitted aren't available right away.
okay.
So I don't know if I'll be able to see them, but I'll let you know. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
all I have on that, so good.
Yeah, that's great news.
Thank you, Aretha.
Yeah,
Huge help.
yeah, wow.
Let's hope for the best, yeah.
Okay.
So the next one is discussion of the old business,
Rocky Hill Community
Rocky Hill
Farm.
Community Farm.
Right, so just to catch everybody up, the town really tried to get the first planting beds available for this year. We weren't able to get that in time. We still had some soil testing that needed to be
Yeah.
done. And one of the other things that came up during discussions too was, finalizing the location of where those planting
Yeah.
beds were. So we're actually pursuing a different area from what we were thinking about,
Okay, good.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
Good.
And I think this seems to be a more popular location, still on the site, it's just kind of on the side of the barn, a little bit further away from the road. One of the other things that came up was a discussion about providing water to the
Yeah,
site.
water.
There is, Stratska Farm originally had a home on it up until recently. So there's a hand dug well and there's a drilled well on the site.
Uh-huh.
We looked at those. I think they took water tests on those.
Yeah.
But we're also pursuing connecting to the MDC water supply.
Wow.
There is a water main and new road which runs along that parcel. The initial statement from MDC was the connection cost was just
Yeah, it was-
astronomical.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I remember,
Yes.
yeah.
So the subject has been approached again to MDC, and they asked us for a sketch of how we might connect, and with high hopes for either a low cost or no cost connection being provided.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
that might be
encouraging.
great, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we'd be able to run water to the barn where there's a bathroom that we'd like to have constructed inside. So right now, it's an empty frame.
Right.
you know.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
inside.
it was, built on site, but the interior's not
beautiful.
finished. Yeah, it's gorgeous,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
it's a great
beautiful.
barn.
On the outside.
And it's good size too. And there's a kind of a carport off to the side of it, so that, we can take advantage of that space as well, so it's a covered space. But yeah, we would like to have an accessible bathroom for people to be able to enter. There's a parking area there, unlined, but then there's a portion of it that will be striped for ADA accessibility with a walkway that leads into the building. That way people can use the restroom if they need to. And then we can also run a line from the barn out to the field area, just basically a frost-free spigot that would be near the planting beds.
Wow.
So that's kind of the sketch that we're providing them. So we're just prepping that. I think it might be done, might be close to done. They were
Okay,
working on
that's-
that
that's
earlier
great.
today.
I thought you might have to go with the portable water type of thing.
Yeah, 'cause otherwise then we'd have to talk about, either working with the existing wells if they can produce enough water and the water quality is good, or, having some sort of water storage tank.
Yeah.
Which, those are all additional costs we'd like to see if we
Sure.
can go this option. So it's great, that's fantastic
So
news.
these may be
Yes.
opening up to the public next year?
Yes.
Potentially?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's quite a few
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, and I was just at
Because we lost a lot.
there's a community garden in my own city, so I was just kind of driving by, looking at their setup, and it's pretty similar to kind of
Yeah,
what we want
yeah.
to do. Not as fancy, much smaller lot, their area is like really close to the road, but they don't have fencing, they don't have some of the things that I've seen in some other places. So it'd be, kind of similar in the way it's laid out, small plots. One of the things that I liked was for walking between sections of plots, they had just like wood chips down, which is a great way to keep down
That's
the
great.
grass and
Sure.
weeds and things like that.
Or
We were
they
talking
already
about-
have the layout of the.
I think there's a plan that shows a proposed
Oh,
layout with
okay.
all the plots. So I think that's good. And then I think it'd just be a matter, once I think all the testing is done at this point, as far as I know. If it isn't, sorry for misinformation. So far everything's been going fine. So I think that's the plans for next year. So I imagine at some point this winter, they would announce a opening for people signing up. So
Wow.
it's good. It's great news.
Yeah, that really.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
What else great news are we gonna have here?
There's also been some interest in from some of the scouts in town. We have someone from Boy Scouts, right? So it's Scouting America, is that what they call it now?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yep. So there's a Eagle Scout candidate that's interested in building some picnic tables. So they reached out to us looking for funding sources.
Yeah.
And I think he's working with Home Depot to try to get some funding to get materials, and that'll be good. So be
Where?
one or two of them.
Where are they
Just
gonna be
at
placed?
Stratska Farm. We haven't talked
Oh.
about placement yet, but
Oh,
that'd be
okay.
something I'd want to
Yeah.
bring up, figure out what a good location is.
Yeah.
And then there's also another scout project. There's a Girl Scout going for I don't know what their term is, but it's kind of that equivalent high-level scout, badge certification.
Wow.
So for that, she's looking at a planting area showing native plants.
Nice.
So we kind of have a demonstration garden, which I
Yeah.
think would be good. And there's plenty of room, I think, on that site to do something like that.
Yeah.
So I think she had some meetings with some town staff. I wasn't in those meetings. I had some other projects I was working on. But I think they were talking about location and size, and I think she's preparing some information on that. So that might be really good. So there's
Yeah.
a couple of additions to Stratska Farm.
Well, it's
So
like-
that becomes the pollinator pathway too, right? So once.
Yeah,
you have
maybe.
that-
I was kind of wondering, because I didn't see the results of the meeting, so I wasn't sure what sort of plants she's thinking of, whether it's for like butterflies or wetland plants. I'm not sure what route she's going down, but I'll get more information and bring that back to the next meeting. I'll see if I can get a copy of what their proposal is.
Like number should have correct, pollinator path, we're fine with that one. We've got all the points. we
Oh,
can
yeah,
get on
but I
that
mean,
one.
the more the
Yeah.
better when it comes to that. I mean, they're great for farms.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I know, I was watching a pretty active one at a peach orchard over the weekend. So I was kind of watching how, they have a couple of gardens set up around their property, various areas, and the bees come in, do their
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and then, head out to the trees,
Yeah.
which is kind of neat. Yeah.
Speaking of trees, yesterday I saw we have a small tree my husband had put in earlier in the spring. And I was standing by and I saw this insect. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's an invasive insect.
Spotted lanternfly?
Yes,
Really?
yes.
Yeah.
So I tried to kill it, but it got away. So I spent must have been an hour this morning trying to get a hold of somebody in the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah.
They sent me all over the place. And finally got a hold of somebody. And I think Rocky Hill is the first time that they've heard
Oh,
from
really?
with this insect.
Mhm.
I think the last time she said was Tallinn. She said, that's not that far from you. I'm like, well, that's a good distance.
Far.
Yeah.
I says, I only saw one, but when there's one, there's gotta be more. And those are very, very bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
have problems
I
with
think the
those. We have problems with emerald ash borer.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is damaging to the ash trees.
Yeah.
One tree warden I spoke to about 5 years ago was worried that Connecticut's ash supply would be decimated in the next decade because of that bug.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that bug, the lantern bug, doesn't it go after trees too?
Yes, it does. Yeah, a couple of different varieties.
Wow.
It's too bad. It's a beautiful bug.
I
It's
know.
gorgeous. It's a shame. Yeah,
I
they're
know.
right on the verge of the city that I live in, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a mountain between me and the next community, and they're like on the far side of the mountain. So they're coming. They just
Yeah,
haven't crossed
yeah.
the mountain yet.
She was very appreciative that I called to let him know,
Yeah.
because they're trying to track these.
Yeah.
Facebook, they had a note of it on the Facebook page.
Yep.
So,
Oh,
I think the
really?
Deep
Yeah.
website has like a section devoted to that,
Yeah.
where they have information.
This is-
There's another type of bug that looks very similar, so it's like the general characteristics of the insect are about the same, but the markings are a little bit different, so you can kind of differentiate between the two with their help. And yeah, I think there is like some sort of contact you can reach out to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good,
she's
because I'm
very
sure they're tracking
appreciative.
it.
Yeah.
I think there's, I think on the Deep website too, there's, they have a mapping program, Geographic Information Systems, GIS, and I think they have something showing like sightings. So
Yeah.
you can see like little
So now
little
Rocky
dots.
Hill's on their map.
Oh, boy.
Thanks to me.
Yeah, I'll let the tree warden know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess that's about it for community farm at this point. I hadn't heard anything back under Part B, promote waste reduction and reuse, the SMR2 grant.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything back. They
Was
were
it-
saying,
For about, about a month, 2 or 3
Yeah.
weeks, and then all of a sudden,
it could take a few months for us to find out about our application. We had applied for these collection bins that are automated. There's an app that you can download for your phone, and when you log in with your information, it'll unlock for you, and you can put your food waste in it.
Oh,
That way they can cut down on the chances of people putting things in there that
Okay.
don't belong.
okay.
Trash.
Is that what Cromwell's doing too?
Yes, that was our inspiration. We saw what Cromwell had, and we're like, oh, we want a few of those. So, yeah, we have a couple of locations we would like to add them. We'd have to, put it in an area where there might be a concrete pad or some asphalt. We can set them up. But, yeah, I think that's good because it'll open it up a little bit more than people having to come down to the transfer station, which is only
Right.
open limited hours every week. In the wintertime, it's only one day a week. Jack, you go down there
Yeah, I
for
go
your
there.
food waste, yeah.
where's the Cromwell one? I didn't notice.
Yeah, Cromwell has these same sorts of bins. They put them in some of their parks.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the packet of information that I gave to you when we were writing up the grant application. There was some stuff in there from Cromwell. I'll have to take a look on their website. They have a great write-up on their website about it.
I saw some from Manchester.
Yep, Manchester has some too,
Oh.
I think. Yep, New York City has,
Actually, I
in
got my own.
in the boroughs, they have about 500 of them now. And they
Wow.
have a map,
Yours.
and you can look at where the locations are, that way you can find one that's close to you.
Yeah.
So, it seems like that technology is working. This is
Yeah.
a similar sort of bin, yeah, she has a picture right there.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
so like on the back side, it's gonna look similar to this, where it's gonna have a locked drawer, and then you just log in on your app, it records you and how much roughly you're putting in it.
Oh.
And I think it can track volumes and quantities, so they'll know who's dropping off and how much, and it's a good way to track what we're doing. I mean, we get the tonnage of the material that we take to the anaerobic digester that converts all this to energy. But, it'd be nice to get more localized information, site to site. So hopefully over the next couple months, we'll hear back on that.
So, Jason, while we wait for the grant to be approved, we were actually talking about making, like spreading the awareness and having kids actually create some of the signage. right?
Absolutely.
Should we get started on that or?
Yeah. One of the things I was thinking about with that, what if we had like an in-person event where we
Yeah.
could get the kids to come in either to the community center, to the library,
Yeah.
and we could have them do some drawings, and obviously that could be transferred. I don't know if we want to set it up as a contest, but we could do something
Yeah,
like
we can
that.
do that.
Yeah. Kids would like that, contest, magic word.
Exactly. And also asking the public on which areas they would want to see this, the
Other locations around
locations
town,
too,
yeah.
So that way we will be prepared for our
Yep.
next weekend.
I think in the grant application, we talked about installing them at the fire stations in town because they're open 24/7,
Oh, okay.
and they're monitored, which helps.
Yeah.
And then we also have a lot of people that live in the area where concierge apartments are, and there's a whole series of condos next to it on Century Hills Drive. I've got a sidewalk project starting up on Century Hills Drive this fall.
You were saying.
So I'd like to, in addition to that, pour a concrete pad in that area, maybe right at the intersection of where Cold Spring and Century Hills Drive meets. And we can put one right there, and that way that people could stop by and just drop it off.
Right,
It's
yeah.
close to concierge, and then it's, for the people going from the condos, it's right there too.
Yeah, that's
And
perfect.
that road on Century Hills Drive, it's pretty wide. I think it's safe for people to pull over there for a moment if they want to get out of the car and drop the stuff off.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. So, this is something that we want to do, like starting to kind
Yeah.
of spreading the awareness and having the kids participate.
Where would you like to hold the event? Where do you think is a better
So,
space?
the recycling event that we have done at the community center, maybe we should have it for our younger generation. Right, like we were thinking to have it library. Maybe having at the library that awareness session where that was a very good presentation.
Yeah.
You and
Yeah, that was.
Joe had. So maybe having the session, and after the session, take some survey, and also have like one other follow-up session for them to actually do this contest.
Sure.
So it'll be like a two-part thing
Mm.
where we are involving the kids.
Okay. Yeah, kind of like treat it as like an announcement,
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
So during that recycling session, we'll do an announcement that this contest is coming up and sign up. So we'll work with the library.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good. I know our fellow Summer was asking about programs that we participate in at the library.
Right.
So I'll have to see how big their space is and see if it might be worth doing it there. But the one at the community center worked out great because it
That
was,
was awesome.
that room was so scalable. We could have had 5 times the amount of people in there and it would have been just fine.
So we can have the informational session at library and then say that we will have the contest at the senior center. at
Yeah,
the park
and then maybe we can even have like a small table or something at the library. So, kids could stop by the library, can see that it's there, they can still submit their drawings.
Yeah.
It might be fun. Hmm.
So do you want me to follow up with library to
That'd be
have a
wonderful.
date for the recycling presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, looking at my construction schedule, maybe mid-October would be okay.
Yeah. good.
I'm gonna be kind of
That was
busy.
my.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
That would
still.
be my next question.
Yeah, I'll still have some things going on, but, I think my paving will be wrapped up, and that's the one that kind of takes the most of my time every day. The sidewalk projects, I'll be in and out on them, I can stop in, check on things, we can talk about layout, and then they can work for a little bit, I can come back and check on them. I don't have to sit with them all day, so.
And 1 hour session, right? Like we
Sure.
did.
Yeah.
That was a very.
I don't know if I
good
can do 1 hour for kids. I don't know, maybe I should shorten it up a little bit
Yeah.
for attention span reasons. I don't know, but maybe I make it more fun and.
Like
and
more
it's-
interactive.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah,
did.
yeah, I want more
Like
interaction. I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
I gave out a couple little prizes, but they didn't quite land.
Yeah, I think a half an hour would probably be good for that.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit over. But,
Yeah, I could probably scale it down.
It was good for us, but I don't know.
For kids, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
If we make it interactive, 1 hour session maybe, but we can cut
We'll
scale
see,
it,
yeah.
cut it down.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, we had a lot of questions, more than I anticipated.
That's
People
great.
were actually bringing in samples from home. They're like, what can I do with this? Does this get
Yeah.
recycled? Can I recycle it?
Really?
Yeah, if I
That's
can't,
awesome.
what do I do with it? There was a lot of those types of questions. So,
Interesting.
it might be good for the kids to have that sort of interaction too.
Yeah,
So 30-minute presentation and 30 minutes for Q&A, right? That way.
yeah, or however, yeah.
Yeah, or we could even open it up and let them draw a little bit too, We could do that, say, if here's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me 10 minutes, here's all the crayons in the world. Go
Start
off.
with the dump truck thing in the beginning. That was pretty cool.
I know.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, maybe I'll bring Scarlett down here.
Yeah.
She can demonstrate the dump truck. It's fun. Yeah, but yeah, it'd be good, and I didn't involve our trash hauler. for this, but they do have like a public outreach coordinator at our trash haulers place of business, and she's an excellent educator. I saw one of her presentations she did with in partnership with Simsbury, because they have a pretty robust program, and so they kind of, the two of them kind of tag teamed a really nice presentation, and I could reach out to her and see if she might want to come too, because they may have some stuff geared towards kids that we can take advantage of. I wanted to try it once myself and just try to work out the kinks, and I think you know, Joe and I thought it came out pretty well. We had a lot of good feedback. You guys were happy with it, so
Yes, very
hey, we can do more of that. I think we should do that, you know, once a year, and just,
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
get the word out to people. It'll help cut down on people throwing things in the recycling bin that they shouldn't, and, you know, knowing what belongs in the trash and what doesn't, and what the benefits of our transfer station is. You know, there's a lot of great programs down there that people may not
Yeah.
necessarily know about.
Right.
I was there at transfer station on Saturday. It was busy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Really. So we went for drop off like food scraps and other things, but it
Okay,
was
good.
really busy. It was really
Yeah,
busy.
we changed the layout,
Yeah.
you know, right at the beginning of July, because we closed down the pit for drop off.
Yeah.
So that area we're cleaning up, and we're not going to have people in there anymore. So, you know, we tried to rearrange that site to have good traffic flow, and it seems like it's
I
working.
think the flow is really good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and nobody seems to be held up. I mean, you get a few cars in, depending on how much traffic comes in, but they seem to go through pretty quick.
Yeah,
And you go to, yeah, it's not being held up, even though the pit was a lot of room, but
yeah, that's good.
that,
And
I think
It's a tight
everything's
spot
working
there,
out.
so.
And they have
And they
people
moved
who's
the food,
food scraps
food
to
scraps
the inner little
to the
bit
right.
Right.
Oh, yeah?
so it's not where it was before.
Okay.
Of course, they moved the building down right in about in the middle.
Right. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
been
the
down there
cones.
since it's been rearranged.
Yeah,
I
the
gotta take a
cones
trip.
are leading you, all the
Oh,
cars
good.
into the little building there.
Yeah.
And then the guys there, and they have a tent there, so they're,
Yeah, they're out of the weather.
Yeah, so they-
Which is good.
I think
They're
they're.
guiding the people
They're
too.
guiding the people, and I think that must be saving some money on it. I know it's hard to say, I guess,
Probably.
at this point, but
Hopefully.
at least it closed the pit, and you're not having guys there who, you
Yeah,
know,
don't belong.
who don't belong.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, they got the 2 or 3 guys there, you know, nobody's nobody's
That's right,
arguing
and
with
it's
them.
locked after hours, yeah, so it'll be an illegal.
Yeah,
dumping.
so it really is efficient, I think, and security-wise, you can't get in there.
Yeah,
It's
Unless-
locked.
yeah.
After 2 p.m. it's locked.
Yeah.
You can't go in.
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
The only thing that I have noticed is they moved the bin for food scraps from one side to another.
Yeah.
But they haven't moved the signage.
They
Oh, they haven't moved the sign?
I've
Oh,
already
okay.
asked him about that.
Okay.
He said they'll get around to it. I said, oh, that's fine.
Yeah, the-
Let me check with Jack because he
Yeah.
was very instrumental in getting that signage.
It's my sign.
Okay, yeah, so like I said, it might be a couple months before we hear about the grant, so hopefully that'll help expand our food waste collection, which is good. So it can be anywhere between 20 and 40% of your food waste. I think in my house, we're probably about 30% is food scraps, so I've been amazed on how much less trash we're producing now, which I think is really good, so
Yeah.
more room in the bin.
Yeah.
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 Any, you know, in the container that I keep on the kitchen counter, it's small, it's lightweight, it doesn't, you know, the other thing is, gross to bring up, it doesn't smell. I thought, like, in the middle of the summertime,
Yeah.
that, you know, the food waste smell.
Yeah.
I don't throw a lot of meat scraps in there, so it's a lot of vegetable cuttings.
Hmm.
And it doesn't really cause that much. Yeah, okay, I get a
And
fruit
that's where
fly
the
now
weight
and
is,
again.
too.
Yeah,
You know,
and
the
it, you know,
melons and the-
I fill that up, you know, it lasts about a week. So, you know, what's sitting on there is there for, you know, maybe 5-6 days, and then I swap it out for a new bag. And then I have, you know, curbside collection, pick it up at my house. But, yeah, it seems to be working out. So, you know, I'm glad I'm doing it. I'd love to see more people do it. I keep mentioning it to my neighbors that, you know, it's out there, so I'm trying to spread the word in my own community about, you know, what Rocky Hill's already started here. So, yeah, so we're kind of behind you
Town
guys.
by town.
Yeah, town by town, you know, there's a lot of waste that gets hauled out of the state of Connecticut to Ohio and Pennsylvania. So it's, you know, it's a lot of wear and tear on our highways, it's a lot of trucks that could be doing other things, so it's, you know, there's a carbon footprint to all that being trucked out. We just don't have the capacity for trash the way we've been doing it, so we have to kind of make some changes.
Sure.
And the cost.
Jason, do you think we can get some data for our next meeting on how
More data.
much of,
Sure.
how much we were able to contribute to the anaerobic?
Yep, yeah, it's, I know I gave you some information a
Yeah,
couple months ago, I
months
think,
ago,
yeah.
yeah.
Update for next month, yeah, sure.
You know, I'm not sure if the summer for food waste is as popular.
Yeah, schools are in session.
It's so hot.
Mm.
You know, we had, you know, that month it was really hot, and I'm not sure if everybody was throwing away all their, bringing it down. 'Cause
Yeah.
it goes bad real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, and the
So-
maggots all of a sudden
The
appear.
maggots, yeah, that kind of scared me one time.
Yeah.
They showed up.
Yeah, I had them for the first time in my bin this week, actually.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but it gets a little cooler, I think people maybe just,
I was consistent. Every Saturday we used to drop off. I have this big bin.
yeah.
So in another one, so we used to take it, if not every Saturday, every other Saturday
Yeah.
and drop it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So I
That's
used to do my own composting in the backyard, but it's full. So I'm like, okay, I need another. Or I used to bring it to the food pantry
Yes.
and drop it there.
Yeah.
But now with the transfer station, I'm just going there.
It's
and-
easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That was kind of the hope, that when they opened it up, it'd be convenient for people, so that's good. It's nice that you take a little time out of your day to do that, so thanks, guys.
You're doing your bit
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's,
for the world.
So, to get on to the next discussion in new business, you know, one of the things I wanted to bring up about our certification is we recertified ourselves for bronze
Yeah.
in addition to submitting information for silver. A lot of the information in bronze especially goes back to 2022.
Yeah,
Recertification happens every 3 years.
yeah,
So some of those things were in, like, you know, the early parts of 2022 that we still got credit for
yeah,
now.
yeah.
But 3 years from now,
Yeah.
we're gonna age past all of that.
Yeah.
The look-back period goes back 3 years.
Yeah.
So we need to start programs
Looking.
as soon as possible to get, to kind of keep our certification, and then, you know, figuring out what sort of new areas we would like to offer the council to go down. But we want to make sure that they're aware that certification is going to continue to take work. So what I had intended for this meeting, and it just wasn't enough time, what I wanted to have was kind of a roadmap, saying, okay, you know, this is where we're at, these are the points that we've submitted for, these areas are good for a few years, but here's the stuff that was submitted for 2022 that we know will
22, yeah.
expire. Here's the stuff from 2023, 2024, 2025, you know, have them color coded in our spreadsheet, so we know what quickly, when we look at it, what our timeline is for those items, and say, all right, well, maybe we need to make sure that we're working on the 2022 and 2023 things, making sure that we can maintain that certification as the years go on. You know, it's not the end-all, be-all. You know, I keep saying that, is that Sustainable CT is a roadmap. The town is interested in using that roadmap, but we also have the ability to bring other ideas forward for them to consider. So don't let Sustainable CT be the only thing you focus on. It is the most important thing for us to focus on right now because it's our roadmap. But if there's additional things that we think we should be doing, then we should bring that information forward to the council and let them know and see if those are programs that, you know, we think the public is interested in and that they want to pursue. So hopefully, you know, the benefit of Sustainable CT is that there's some funding available behind it. I wish there was a lot more, frankly. But, you know, there's a lot of private donors that contribute money to Sustainable CT to be able to disseminate out to the public. So I would like to think that we can, you know, be taking advantage of some of those funds as time goes on. So sticking to the roadmap is a good idea for that reason. But, you know, if there's other things that we can do that fits in the purview of what the town council wants to pursue, let's get that information in front of them. I don't know if you've had any talks with the mayor recently about when she would like you to come back and present information, but.
No, I did not. Did
No.
you hear?
She hasn't mentioned anything. I didn't bring it up at the meeting. I was there to discuss some of our paving projects, and I talked a little bit about kind of our complete streets approach when we're looking at roadways.
Complete streets.
It's
Yeah, so there was definitely some complete streets information that I submitted.
I did, and, yeah, so.
Yeah, and we added some bike
Hopefully-
racks, and that was something that, the public reached out to us asking for help on. So that was a great way where, interested citizens, approached the town looking for things, and we found some money to do it, which is good. They're not cheap.
Are you confident that that stuff would get counted? The stuff you submitted?
Yeah, I think so. When I had proposed it to Summer on some of the projects, and she thought they were all,
Okay.
all useful things. We've adjusted some of the paving methods that we use over the years, and there's some of them that I think help in terms of how the town is being sustainable by using recycled materials and using some alternative paving materials to try to cut down on waste. One of the things we did last year was we recycled road pavement in place. It was not trucked away, treated at a facility and brought back, like sold back to us. Instead, we actually we ripped it up, we added some materials to it, and then we placed it right back down. There was a big, huge treatment train of all this equipment working together, and it was this big, long lumbering process where they went down the street, they
Wow.
ripped up the old road, and they set it right back down
It's
again.
amazing.
Fascinating. And we had to put a surface over the top of it when we were done, the actual driving surface, but we basically rebuilt the road.
What do you rent that, the machinery? to
Oh,
do that?
we had to hire a contractor. They have specialized machinery for this.
Mhm.
And it basically takes the existing asphalt, it grinds it up,
Wow.
it adds some additives to it, including a foamed asphalt, and then it gets placed back down, and it all just rolls together. It's fascinating, and then you're driving on it 10 minutes later. It's nuts.
Where did we do that?
We did that on Autumn Circle,
Uh-huh.
Winter Lane, and a section of France Street from Ten Rod Highway west to the Outer France area, like near where Skyview Drive
Yeah.
is, and where you turn to go to the swimming
Yeah, school of
academy,
swimming.
the School
yeah.
of Swimming, yeah. So like, that was kind of like our project
Oh,
one
when
out
was
there.
that done? Last
So we
year?
did that last summer, yeah, that was like
Last
July.
Hmm.
We did that last year. So that was one way that we're able to do something, because it has a much lower carbon footprint,
Yeah.
less trucks, because it's really just staying in place. We had to grind off a little bit of it. We took basically the top layer off. We rebuilt the bottom layer in place and then put the top layer back on the new paving. So it looks like a brand new regular paved
That's
road.
amazing.
Yeah, it's neat. It worked great because that road was in really rough shape, and we needed to do a more in-depth construction method than what we typically do in our milling and pave projects, where usually we just take off the top surface, which is about 2 inches thick. So this one, we went down, like 8 inches. So normally, we just work with the top 2 inches. So like, the project that we have coming up on Hayes Road this year, and June Drive and Crystal Circle, that's gonna be kind of more traditional mill and pave. We're not using that cold-in-place recycling this year, and frankly, our roads are in such condition that I don't think we're gonna have to use it for quite a while, but it's nice to know that it's in our toolkit, and it did work. So I'm watching it. I'm gonna be here long enough that I'm gonna be able to see that over the next, hopefully, 15, 20 years, and see how good of a method that really is. And so, go back, we can revisit it. That's kind of the benefit of being a public works engineer, is when you do projects, you get to see how they hold up.
See it.
You learn from it, right? And so, the other method that we do that's been more familiar, I think, to residents is microsurfacing. So with that, we'll do a thin overlay over the top of an existing road, adding a new wearing surface to it. And that's, it's really just a stone and asphalt mixture. So it's not laid down hot, less trucking, and it goes down much quicker. So you've just seen that get placed on Old Forge Road and Gilbert Avenue. So we just did that last week. So I have to put the line striping back down.
What
But
are they doing in the Celestine? They keep ripping up the middle.
Yeah, the middle of the road, that's a water main replacement project. So
Oh.
every day, they cut, they dig out a section,
Yeah.
they lay some water main in it,
Mm.
and then they have to pave it at the end of the day. So it's a really
They
slow
put a new
process.
water main
So the
replacement.
old existing water main is still there.
Oh, yeah.
All the buildings are still connected to the old pipe.
Ah.
Once they get that fully built,
Mhm.
they'll pressure test it. They test the water to make sure it's safe to drink. They'll have to chlorinate it,
Oh.
dechlorinate it, and then test it. And then once it's safe to drink, then one at a time, each building will be connected to it.
How far are they gonna go down?
They're going all the way from Parsonage Street all the way to Weathersfield.
Okay.
And then they're going into Weathersfield next year, and they're gonna do the entirety of Celestine and Weathersfield.
Oh, really?
And then I think before this construction season's out, they're going to do Town Line Road. So we're gonna run a new water main on Town Line. So that should be happening, I think, this fall.
Surface the whole road.
The MDC project, I think, has some resurfacing in it, but there's also been some talk from the state to redo that road, yes. So
They've done a pretty good
in
job.
the areas where they're on town roads, so where they make connections on places like Parsonage and Water Chase, Town Line, that's gonna be curb to curb resurfacing from one side of the road to the other. But on Celestine Highway, I think it might only be like, the lane that got affected. I don't think they're going curb to curb on Celestine. But they're coming up to a point where they're gonna be repaving Celestine in the not too distant future, so.
Why are
Yeah.
they replacing it?
It's just age, yeah. So it's 50 to 100 years is about all you get out of a water main.
Mhm.
You're lucky to get 100, most times it's about 50, 60 years. So over the years, the minerals inside the water starts to form deposits on the inside of the pipe. So what starts out as, say, something like a 12-inch pipe begins to neck down over time.
Yeah.
And there's less and less space available inside. So you start losing capacity. Or if you're dealing with situations where you're starting to have a lot of water main breaks along the section of road, it's a good time to consider replacing it.
But they're not going towards Cromwell?
Sorry, you mean Weathersfield?
No, where they are now by,
Yeah.
Celestine.
Yep.
They're not heading towards Cromwell to dig up, or no? In Rocky Hill?
No, they're not going up Cromwell, they're not doing Maple Avenue, which is on the top of the hill on Town Line, no. So, I think, they look at the conditions of their pipes, they look at the
Oh.
age, they track all that, and they figured out what needed to get replaced.
Sure.
For now.
Yeah.
There's always repair work going on, but this is, a big replacement
Big
project,
project,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep, and I will say that because they're paving every afternoon, the amount of dust and debris left on that road is minimal. I see a little bit of dust sometimes from when they cut a section that they want to remove for the next day. There's a little bit of dust left over from the saws as they're cutting. But in general, they've kept a very clean and organized site on Celestine. I've been pretty impressed, actually. Yeah, so that'll be good. And each of the businesses will be approached, to connect when what works best for their business. Most complicated is probably gonna be McDonald's, because I guess it's a 24-hour McDonald's. So they'll have to be about at least an hour shutdown, where they're not gonna be able to serve. But they'll coordinate with them, pick a time. So they said it didn't matter day or night, they'd work with them. So that's good. And MDC's running that whole thing. Burns Construction's doing the work. Burns has done some stuff in town, working for some of the other utilities. They seem to do good work. So far, everything I've heard has been positive, so, yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
And when is the sidewalk project starting? It
Yeah.
started already?
Yes, so we have a consultant that we'd gotten some funding, some federal funding with Weathersfield to have a consultant look at, and I'm sorry, I should have brought this with me, the entire corridor of the Celestine Highway, looking for areas where we can make it safer and make it more accessible to people other than cars. I mean, cars are still considered as part of that, but we want to make sure that, trucks can travel through there, bicyclists, pedestrians. The town has an interest in extending their sidewalk streetscape that we did back in 2020, 2021. We would like to continue that down into Weathersfield. So that's, one of the things that we're interested in. But we're also going to be soliciting information from the public. They're going to have a pop-up session where our consultant will be available to talk face-to-face to people to get some feedback early on. We're also going to have a website that's, it hasn't been released yet, but we just saw the draft of it. There'll be a website available where people that use the Silestein, whether you're a resident, a visitor to Rocky Hill, somebody that uses the bus and travels through town, whatever it is, you'd be able to submit things that you'd like to see improved, things that you think Silestein needs. They're even, they brought up the subject of whether or not we'd be interested in changing the name of the Silestein. Instead of the Silestein Highway, there was some talk of maybe calling it Silestein Boulevard, to maybe change that the mental thought about what the Silestein
Yeah, that's
Highway
not
is.
bad.
Yeah, so I think Weathersfield was interested in that and kind of brought that idea forward. So we'll have to see what the consultant ultimately does. CDM is a big organization. They're a multinational engineering firm. They have a lot of experts that are, well versed in public outreach. They know about safety. They know about travel, and so they're going to try to basically come up with a menu of items that could be done to make that a space that people want, and then trying to match each of those items with funding sources, so that the communities can go after the money to be able to do those projects. So they'll look at areas that they think are the biggest priority and rate those as, the things that you should maybe take care of first, and then also have other projects in there. And that way you can kind of figure out what each of them is going to cost and where you can find money out there to try to help get those things done. So.
I really wish they could do something as far as putting sidewalks on Fran Street between Winding Brook and Sunset Ridge.
Yep.
There is nothing there, and with Cumberland Farms going in years ago,
Yes.
there are so many people walking.
Yes.
And the cars are speeding up, because when they're coming from Fran Street to, Route 3, they're going real fast, because it's like a hill. It's very dangerous.
So the town planner and the town engineer, I think, worked with the town manager and the council to come up with a priority system for where sidewalks could be built in the future.
Yeah.
That may be on that.
I
I'm
hope
not
so.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's considered a high priority area, but when you hear of walkers out on the road on a busy street like that.
Oh,
it's-
yeah, and
I'm
there's a
concerned.
lot, because
Yeah.
that Cumberland draws a lot of people, kids especially,
Yes.
and people that walk their dogs and stuff.
Upcoming sidewalk projects, we're gonna do 2 this year. Washington Street, which is right here by the fire station.
Okay.
We're gonna install a sidewalk on that road. Next year, we hope to be able to connect that sidewalk along Glastonbury Avenue back up to Old Main. So we'd like to add a second sidewalk next year. So that'll kind of add a walking loop to this area. With the hope too that we could extend that down ultimately to the ferry someday. We can get it to a certain point. There's a developer that wants to develop a parcel on the end of Glastonbury Avenue by the railroad tracks. If we can do that, that gets a little bit further.
We'll see about
Yeah,
that, absolutely.
yeah, that's been on the books for years. It's been approved
Since
at
I've been here.
PNC, yeah.
Yeah, 30 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was something more recent that they had proposed, I think like 2020 maybe, but still, I haven't heard the latest on it. And then, then Century Hills, off Cold Spring, we're gonna do half sidewalk along that road this year, and then we have a different grant for next year. We'd like to do the other half. That's still in design. I'm not ready for that yet. It's not ready to be built. But we're gonna build the first half anyway. And then we just got approval at town council last week to award that, so that's good. And then Elm Street, we were hoping to do that this year. There's a little gap in the sidewalk there on Elm Street over near Rose Hill Cemetery. We'll probably have to push that off
Yeah.
till next year. We're getting the valuations for the easements we need for that, but we're not quite ready for that. So that looks like it's gonna get pushed off till next year, because it's just gonna be too late in the year to do concrete. And so from then on, I had some repairs on some existing sidewalk that needs to be done. There's some trip hazards and things I want to fix. But for future funding for projects, I don't know. The only thing I can say about that is walkability is something that's included in our plan on conservation and development. That was recently approved. We'll have to read in there and see if the prioritization zones are shown in there about what sidewalks we'd like to do next, and then it's just a matter of finding the funding for them. I think
Yeah.
that's always a challenge. The sidewalk we built in Rocky Hill, it's concrete. Concrete is not cheap. It's cheaper to do it in asphalt, but it doesn't hold up as long, it doesn't
Yeah.
look as good.
Yeah.
And frankly, it's harder to maintain the grades for people walking. If you have a lot of undulations in the sidewalk,
Yeah,
it makes it
yeah.
harder to traverse.
Yeah.
We can control that better with concrete.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. That's all I got for now, but I hope to have that spreadsheet put together. I'd like to try to get a rough draft of it by the end of the week.
Okay.
Definitely, for next meeting, I'd like to try to hit the ground running. I don't know if it would be okay, Aretha, but I'd like to try to get that spreadsheet out to people as quick as possible. What I can do is I can create a packet for next month's meeting, but give it out early enough. I can have, let's see, so we're coming up on a holiday weekend this weekend. I can see if I can get something together before the holiday weekend. I might be able to have a courier drop it off to your houses on Friday if you're around. Then you at least have it. But take a look at it
Well,
over the next couple of weeks.
You don't have to do that.
No, I don't want you to do anything
You don't have to
necessarily.
do that.
I just want it in front of you so that you can kind of get an understanding of where the town is and where the holes might be, so that you've got a few weeks to kind of brainstorm some ideas. That way, when we come to the next meeting, then maybe we can have a listening session and get some ideas and some things we may want to pursue. We can talk about the educational component in the contest, but I'd like to see what else we can get started too. We still have a few months left of the year. I'd like to really try to make something happen.
We still have a lot of actions we gotta have, there's a lot of points out there for us to take. because
Yeah,
that's
and
actually there. too,
Yeah,
so.
and they're not all difficult, some of them can be quite easy.
Well,
and,
let me
there's-
know those, because I thought I did the easy ones.
But, I would like to get more outreach to the public too. I would love it if we could have some more educational seminars like we've had over the last couple of years, where we can kind of get information out to people and, get feedback,
And when do you think it's the right time to take the information back to the town council?
It's a good question. I think they were hoping to have updates periodically,
Okay.
maybe like twice a year.
Okay.
I don't know if they are ready for one yet. I don't know what else is coming up in their, conceptual agendas, but I can ask and see if
That would
there's
be good, yeah.
an opening. It might be a good time, and I'd like to give you enough time to prepare
Sure,
something.
sure, that would be
I
good.
don't want to, surprise you, but I'd be happy to reach out to the town manager
Yeah,
tomorrow.
if
and
not
see if we-
September, October could be at least we can provide an update on where we stand, right? What are the things we have
Yeah.
done, where we stand,
Well, we gotta.
and the roadmap.
Well, we
to-
really can't do anything until we get the points.
At least we can talk about what we have done so far and the roadmap. Maybe we can even share the roadmap with the town council.
Yeah, might be a good idea, just so that we kind of stay in their consciousness that, we need to try to keep some of this going. There's always so much business going on, but I guess the more information they have, the better. I'd say a lot of the commissions, they have updates for every meeting. So they're kind of, I think, more in the forefront of their thinking, and they don't hear from the task force all that often, so it might be good to be visible. I want to make sure that, they support what we're doing.
Well, I think we'll be real visible if we can get a silver certificate.
Absolutely.
We get over 500 points, but.
I really wanted that to happen.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good neus, like you said before, but we'll see what happens.
I'm
I'll believe it
hoping
when I
to.
see it.
Yeah. I guess that's all I've got for this month.
Yeah.
So I think we are good. I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I motion.
Oh,
Second.
you
I
second?
second it.
Okay.
The next meeting is on 9/29 at 6:30 PM. Anyway, you will share that information. Yes.
Where will that be?
Yeah,
Here
right
too?
Yep, all the meetings are in this location.
Okay.
Unless I had put on the schedule that it was different, that 1 month that you came.
Yeah,
it
we
was
got
in
kicked
that-
out once
You
in a
got
while.
kicked out once
So
too.
that's
yeah.
why we're there. That's
Yeah,
why we were over
there was a
there.
conflict, yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, normally we're in this room.